Welcome back to another video. I was originally going to do a live stream today, but in the last, I want to say like 4 days, I haven't been very motivated to do anything. I want to say that the depression set in and is now slowly leaving my system. But we are very much still in Depression Town, so I think I'm just going to do a video today and call it a day. Okay, so today's video is 2019, a year in review. So what does that mean? Faye, you looking tired, you looking beat, you looking like you shouldn't be here today. What does that mean? What that means is that 2019 has been a year. It doesn't feel like it's been a year, it feels like it's been several years, in a good way. And I just want to look back and think about all the things that I did this year, things that I achieved, things that happened, and, you know, just reminisce. I also took the liberty of looking back at my 2019 New Year's resolutions, and I kind of wrote them all down, and I'm going to see which ones I achieved and which ones I haven't achieved, and which ones I want to reassert for the new year, and that will probably be in a different video where I'll make my New Year's resolutions. I do want to say that winter has always been a time of change for me. All the good things, all the terrible things, most of them have happened in winter. A lot of life-changing things have happened around winter. You know, my mother died in winter. I left, I finally was liberated from my father's home in winter. All kinds of things. Winter is always a time of change for me and for many other things in the world. So it's a time of reflection for me, and the last 4 days have been filled with reflection. And while they have not been fun, they have definitely been mind-boggling and tiring. And it's also one of the reasons why I've kind of been avoiding social media. I've, more or less been keeping my YouTube going, but Twitter and Facebook, I've taken a break from. Instagram, I've taken a break from. I need this time, especially since I feel alone. There's a lot of emotions going on here. I just need this time to myself, and that's why I'll probably be kind of all over the place in this video. But here we are, we're doing this video, and I'm going to post this video regardless. And let's start with the fact that I started my 2019 New Year's resolution video by saying that this was the year of the pig, which is my year. I was born in the year of the pig, 1995, for those of my 90s babies out there. I was born in the year of the pig, and this was the year of the pig, Chinese New Year, Chinese zodiac. And, while I don't actually believe in those things, I think that they are delusional to believe in. I think that zodiac, Chinese zodiac, like all of that stuff kind of gives me a makeshift thing to work towards, and also it's a very easy way to just understand what I'm not good at, especially if I agree that those things are the things that I'm not good at. Like, I'm an Aquarius, for example, and Aquariuses aren't good at opening up about their feelings, and for the longest time that was true about me, and I took it on as a critique from the universe, and I've been trying to change it. I've been trying to be better about talking about my emotions and dealing them and facing them and not running away from my problems. And while it is an extremely difficult task and I hate it, it is something that I know is beneficial for me and that I need to do. For those of you who think I'm crazy right now, look, I know, okay? I don't need to be told, I'm aware. But the first thing that I opened with in that video was talking about the fact that this is the year of the pig. And that meant, on a cosmic, stupid level, that this was going to be my year. And in many ways it has been. In many ways it hasn't been, but in many ways it has been. I made a lot of goals, so I want to go through those first. And I think, we'll tell stories as we go. So the first sort of resolution I had for this year was gym and a healthy diet. Now, I would say that that's very 50-50 because, as I said, all of that kind of fell apart. Like, I want to say around June or July. I was having quite a few problems. Work was falling apart. My relationship was falling apart. A member of my family died. All of it fell apart. But for like the first 6 months of this year, I was very good at keeping that. I had a gym routine. I was swimming every week. And I was on a keto diet. And I was also doing intermittent fasting, which was really helping me. And I think for the new year, I want to restart that. But I think I'll keep my New Year's resolutions for my New Year's resolutions video. So you'll see that probably in 2020. But yeah, I was doing quite well at the beginning of the year, and then I completely fell off the horse, like mid-year, June, July, like around that time. And I haven't really gotten back to it. I've been to the gym a few times in the last month. I have some really good gym buddies who will encourage me to go and do some other activities like rock climbing and swimming and things like that. But if I'm being completely honest, I haven't really fulfilled that, and it's something that I'll continue to work towards. The second thing that I put on my New Year's resolution list was to either get a pet or a plant. And for most of the year, I didn't have a pet or a plant. But I would like to say, you haven't met him yet, but I was given a plant. His name is Harvey. He originally belonged to my good friend Carl, and I have a funny story. I don't know if I'm going to share, but I think Harvey is an aloe plant, and I like aloe plants because my mother really loved them. We had a few of them around the house, and so the story with Harvey is that he was not originally mine. I did not pay for him. He just came into my keeping. I don't want to mess you up, Harvey, so I'm just going to put you down. So Carl has a lot of plants around his house. He loves his plants. His plants are like his family in his house. And one time I was going over and he wanted to replot one of his specific plants, and we just ended up repotting every single one of his plants. Because for some reason, he just wanted to repot this plant because this plant needed some TLC and some care and attention. And one of his aloe plants had a baby, and he was like, "Do you want him?" And I was like, "I'm really not that responsible." And he was like, "You can have him." And after visiting Carl's house, it was either that day or the day after, because I had decided to stay over, I was going to Jimmy's house to watch a movie, just hang out with Jimmy. So I was walking down the street in the middle of the night carrying a plant to Jimmy's house. So Harvey, the hero that he is, actually protected me from all the ruffians. Because I was just a crazy lady holding a plant like this, walking down the street in the middle of the night to my friend's house. Harvey has been living with me for, I want to say like 3, maybe 4 months. This must have been it must have been in September, I think, or October that I got Harvey. So it hasn't been that long. But he's doing quite well, I think. And, yeah, he's just a part of the family, and I'm really happy to have him. So I've completed that New Year's resolution, even if I did that very late in the year. I would love to include Harvey in videos, but I'm very aware that he is a plant, and I can't just jerk him around everywhere. And I'm a very jerky person, so yeah. He's just been a silent companion in my life. So the next New Year's resolution that I had for 2019 was to travel. And for those of you who missed it, I went to Amsterdam this year, and I went to a few places. I went to quite a few cities this year, and I have my postcards, which has now become my tradition, to get a postcard for everywhere I go. And if anyone goes anywhere else, I also have to tell them, please do not get me a postcard, because I only want to get postcards for places that I visit. I'm actually missing a postcard because we also went to Southend-on-Sea this year. We went to the beach this year, which I had never done. Well, I had done, but not in the way that myself and Alicia went this year. Like, I wore, a swimsuit. We did some beach stuff. We we didn't really get drunk because we were drinking some cheerleader beers, WKDs, and like Smirnoff Ices and stuff like that. So we didn't really get drunk, even though that was kind of the intention. We went swimming, we saw some jellyfish, it was really nice, but in addition to all of these, I went to Southend-on-Sea as well. But the first place that I visited outside of London was Salcombe, which I went with Ed, who is my ex. We went to Salcombe because his mother has she has like a house there. And we stayed there for a week, and it was a nice town. It's like near Devon. There was like these really lovely beaches. It's out on the water. Everything is so blue. And it's a really hilly town, and it's a really nice, quiet town. And it was a really nice way to spend. I think we went in either January or February. It was a really nice way to spend the beginning of the year. And I'm really glad that I got out of London so early in the game. The second place I went to this year, was Milton Keynes. I'm currently studying at the Open University, the campus. While it is mainly like an away from campus university, so they do a lot of their courses online, and they book out a lot of campuses around the country to do their in-person like lectures and tutorials and stuff. Their actual campus is in Milton Keynes, and I was on a review panel. They had sent me an email to help them review that whole year's study, so I went there in May, and it was actually really, really nice. Milton Keynes is like a tiny, it's literally the middle of nowhere. It's just green. And I think the most notable thing that I learned in Milton Keynes is that you can get a beer for £2, which you can't do in London. London, your beer is going to be at least £4 to £5. So, I mean, I didn't drink up a storm over there. It was only there for maybe 2 days. But we had some moments, myself and some of the other students who are on the same course as me. We had the chance to like get to know each other over a night time. So yeah, it was a really good time up there, but not really a place that I would say it would probably be a really nice place to live. It's not really that nice a place to visit unless you're going to see the campus, because the campus is beautiful, and I wish that I had an actual campus to go to. The next place I went to was to Oxford. I went there for an interview. I didn't pass the interview, but I went there for an interview. It was just before summer, so I think I went in around June or July. And they have work here in London, but their main branch is in Oxford. So I went to Oxford to do the interview, and it was a really nice experience. I've never been chosen for a job or an interview where I had to leave the city to interview for this job. But it's a really nice town. It reminds me a lot of Cambridge, which they're in two different places completely. They're often mentioned together because they're the top universities in the UK, Cambridge and Oxford. But the town actually reminded me a lot of Cambridge because it was like quiet, but not so quiet that you wouldn't notice that it was a city. I think I had Franco Manca there, and all in all, it was like £10, which I couldn't believe because I would not be paying £10 in London. And there was some kind of protest going on that day. I believe it was a Brexit protest. It was an interesting journey. And for a country that I actually went to that is outside the UK, I went to the Netherlands, more specifically to Amsterdam. And what can I not say about Amsterdam? I loved Amsterdam. I did a couple of videos on Amsterdam. I did a few videos collaborating with Halima in Amsterdam, for those of you who missed it. And I honestly miss Amsterdam completely because it's not a city that I would live in because I love London, but to visit and explore, it was a really interesting city. The architecture was pretty, the people were really nice. It was really, I really felt very safe in Amsterdam. I don't necessarily feel safe all the time in London, but in Amsterdam I felt really, really safe. And it was nice. It was really nice. I learned how the metro works, so how their public transport works. I learned that they have really wide roads because they have so many modes of transport. They have cars and taxis, they have bicycles, they have trams, and they have the metro, which is like an overground, underground tube system. So they have really wide roads. They have a lot of canals because it's, you know, it's a water city. You can kind of see it there. I think I was in Amsterdam for about 4 or 5 days, and I think in total I got about 4 hours of sleep over that time. It was a really lovely, lovely experience, and I hope to go back to Amsterdam one day. Not only because Halima lives there and I miss her dearly, but also because it was just a really nice time. I had a crazy time, I had a wild time. I have memorabilia from Amsterdam that I wanted to show off, but I think I'll keep it for the next section of what we're going to talk about. The last and final city that I visited was Bristol, where I gave my first live speech. And I did this in collaboration with Faithless. The speech is up on my channel. I've forgotten what it's called. It was only a 5 to 10 minute speech, but it was an experience, and I really, really loved it. The morning after, I felt like even though we didn't drink that night, or I had like one cider, I woke up the next morning feeling so, almost like I had a hangover from the tenseness and the excitement of speaking. And I hope to do more, and I will do more in the next year, because Faith to Faithless actually want me to speak a little bit more on their panels. Mariam Namazi has graciously asked me to be on one of her panels next year in March. And David Worley's event is coming up. For those of you who are unaware, the name has not been confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on a panel at his event as well. So yeah, it's been a year of travel. I've been to a lot of places, and I hope for more in the new year. So 2 of the places that I said that I wanted to go quite desperately in my resolutions video was to Scotland and to Japan. Now, Japan I don't really see happening for a while, but I really, really want to see Scotland. I'm actually going to look for work opportunities in Scotland, because I feel as though, I may need a change of scene from London, if for just a little while, a few months, a year, I don't know. But it would be nice to move away, work somewhere else, and then, come back. London, it's my home. I can't imagine there being a better city for me to live in than London. It's the greatest city in the world, in my opinion. You know what? No, it's a fact. London is the greatest city in the world. I would never want to leave indefinitely, but I do think that there's a part of me that wants to get away from it. While I'm not a big fan of running away from my problems, I do think that running away for a little bit couldn't hurt. I think it could do me some good, and sometimes I just need to move away from the problem a little bit just to see it a bit clearer. I don't know. I'll figure it out in 2020. So the next thing was events, and this is where I wanted to talk about Amsterdam. So the events that I went to last year were Comic-Con and Discover Dogs. I didn't go to a lot of events last year, but this year has been full of events. We went to Comic-Con. I've done a video on it on this channel. I didn't go to Discover Dogs, which breaks my heart because it's the best event in the world. It's an event where they bring 500 different breeds of dogs to one location where you can interact, pet them, and play with them. Like, name me a better plan for a dog lover. So there was Comic-Con that myself and Alicia went to, and we are planning to go to next year. Actually, we have some costumes, but I'm not going to show you. They're on my floor. They're in plastic. They're fine. So we went to Comic-Con. We had the Free Sahel rally while Armin Navabi was here. We went to Speaker's Corner. We had No Hijab Day. We had Blasphemy Day, which I took part in, but that was more to do with the activism stuff. We had Mimsy and Vidu's event, Atheists Assemble. That was amazing. We had International Atheist Day, where I won this poster because I'm lucky and y'all are jealous. Blasphemy Day, I Dream Muhammad. There were so many great events this year, but the highlight event of this year, excluding I guess, birthdays, which I will get into later, the highlight event of this year was Diwali, and I've kept the tickets that I bought from Diwali. I actually have a pass somewhere, but I couldn't find it. But, you know, I have my tickets from the ones that I actually purchased, and Diwali was a whole experience. I've also kept... I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but I'm going to, and if I get flagged, I'll change it. But, like, we also had fun in Diwali. We got super, super high behind one of the panels. I believe it was... I can't even remember what panel, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, it was a lot of fun because almost all of that day I was high, and almost nobody could tell besides the people that I actually told. And the brand that I bought was actually Atlantis, and it's called Forbidden Fruit. Again, only do this in Amsterdam. It's legal in Amsterdam. But yeah, Armin Navabi and Ali Rizvi were on a comedy panel. Hysterical. They were both really funny. Armin Navabi got picked up and spun around. Halima looked like a bird of paradise because she was so beautiful and so amazing. I believe it was her first time speaking as well at Diwali, which, you know, props to her. That we laughed, we cried. It was, you know, we did a balloon protest where we tagged the names of all the people who have been killed, imprisoned, you know, tormented in the name of blasphemy laws to balloons, and we demonstrated in the middle of Amsterdam. We, you know, I believe there's a video up online. I'll see if I can link it down below. Carl took that video. I made a lot of friends at Diwali, and I think that's what made Amsterdam so special, was that it didn't feel like a big event. It felt like this huge family reunion. We had people from Norway, we had people from the US, we had people from India, from Sri Lanka, who had all come together to protest for this really important event. And I'm really glad that I went. I almost didn't go, but I'm really glad that I did. I wouldn't trade it for the world, and it's a memory that I will always hold on to. So the next thing, I think I'll skip one, but the next thing was that I wanted to reignite my activism and my volunteering. For those of you who didn't know, I did a lot of volunteering in 2016. I almost spent the whole year being a volunteer. I volunteered for 5 or 6 different organizations. Some of them were cancer related, some of them were community related. Most of them actually were community related. There was one cancer organization that I worked with. So St. Luke's, Cancer Research, Macmillan. I do a Macmillan fundraiser every year, Sober October. I do that all the time. Also, I worked with my local community centre. It was called the Yellow Pavilion. I worked with my local library. It was called Preston Community Hub, I believe. I don't know if it's still around. I worked with a bunch of charities, and I think for a long time, so before this year, I was missing that because I enjoy volunteering for charities. And for those, some of you already know, I'm currently a volunteer at Faithless Hijabi. I'm not doing a ton at the moment, but I am a partner or volunteer for Faithless Hijabi, and I really wanted to bring back a lot of that activism, a lot of that volunteering, because it's something that I feel really strongly about. I'm extremely cause driven. Another trait, by the way, of the Aquarius symbol is that I'm very into changing the world, having these very grand ideas of how the world should be and how I should be the one to save it. I'm sorry, I'm very bitter at the moment. But yeah, it was really important for me to ignite that part of myself, because it was something that I really felt as though I was lacking. And even my professional work, stuff that I do for actual money, is actually something cause driven. I still wanted to do more things on the side. It helps me distract myself from my insignificance in the universe. I think that's what I put it down to. I don't know. I think it's also, I don't want to get into my brain too much here, but I think it's also to do with the fact that I feel good. So it's self-serving also. I feel good about helping people, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. But yeah, we took part in a lot of campaigns this year, ones that we listed before, but we took part in a lot of campaigns this year, and I'm actually quite proud of that. And I hope that I continue doing it in the year to come. So I also said that I would take every opportunity to celebrate, and boy, have I done that this year. I intend to celebrate Christmas. I had my Christmas dinner a few nights ago with my coworkers. I celebrated Halloween this year. I celebrated Chinese New Year this year. I celebrated, so two of the biggest birthdays, well, there's three actually that I celebrated kind of over the top, but the two of the biggest birthdays that I celebrated this year was Alicia's birthday, which was in May, and Zara's birthday, which was a month ago. I think. Can't remember. It's all a blur. There was also Ali Malik's house party. There was also a co-worker's birthday that we celebrated, and our entire plan was to go to Nando's, buy some booze, and just constantly top up booze in our drinks, which was hysterical, and it was such a good time. It was such a teenage thing to do, but it was also like very me, because that's where I am right now. I feel like in terms of life experiences, I'm still very much a child, and it was just something that I had to do, and to be fair, not a terrible idea. So for those of you who are looking for birthday plans on a budget, try Nando's. They give you refillable drinks, and if you buy some booze and you just keep topping up your drinks with booze, it kind of works. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun this year. We took a lot of pictures. I'm not going to put them in here. It's too much work. I feel like I went overboard with the editing in last video. So I think I'm going to give it a break today because I've just been so undermotivated. But yeah, it was a year full of celebrations, and I'm looking forward to more celebrations next year. A lot of people are asking me, I can't even remember what I did for my birthday this year. I don't remember. I think we just got like some cake and had some fun. I know that my 1 year anniversary with Ed was also this year, and we went to the aquarium and had some food, and that was nice. It was a nice way to celebrate our relationship, even though it did deteriorate later in the year. But it's been a year of celebration, and I've really, I really appreciate the idea of celebrating things. And I see naysayers, and I see people who will be like, oh, why do you celebrate this? Why do you celebrate that? It's just it's an excuse to celebrate. It's an excuse to get people together, eat some food, have some fun, dance, music, I don't see why it's a bad thing, so just do it. We only get a limited number of minutes on this planet, and I think that it's important to spend them wisely. And spend them on being happy and enjoying your time here. I also celebrated Eid this year with an inclusive mosque initiative, which I don't know if I'll do next year, but it was good. It was fun. I liked it. It was okay. The whole family was there. Hassan Radwan was there. Armin Navabi was there. Zara K was there. Jimmy was there. Ali was there. It was a really, really nice time. And if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I was with good people, and I've realized that celebrating for me really, really depends on who's there, and if I enjoy spending time with those people. I can't just party with anybody. I need to celebrate with people that I love and I care about, and I really met a lot of those people this year. I really met a lot of those people this year, and it's been overwhelming. I am going to talk about that in a little bit. It's been really overwhelming, but also it's not a bad thing. So two things that, well, one thing really that I didn't really get to do this year, and I think I'm still stalling, is that I was meant to focus a lot more on my writing and send my shit to agents, which I just didn't do this year. And I'm looking into it more seriously currently. I don't think I'll be able to put it in the next, I don't even know how many days we have left, like 8 days of the year. I don't think that I'll achieve it, but I am looking into it, and I'm going to establish that as the resolution for 2020, and I want to achieve it. And the final thing is to let go of my negativity through expressing it. And I do feel as though a lot of it has been let go through the screen of YouTube. Like I've talked a lot about the things that hurt me, like the things that cause me constant and intense pain every minute of my life. I've talked a lot about it. I've let out a lot of it, and I definitely think to an extent it has helped. It has helped just take the pressure off letting the world know that I'm in pain all the time. It comes back to haunt me from time to time, and I am looking into ways to solve that. I am looking into modes of therapy. I'm especially interested in going back into psychotherapy because I think that that would be the most helpful route to take. But this experience using YouTube and using it as a mode to express how I'm feeling and how I'm doing and, you know, where I am at mentally has been really, really helpful in solving the big question of me, you know. I uploaded a video of me having an existential crisis, and I think that while I think it's incredibly stupid to do, because I've just shown the entire world how vulnerable I am, I think that it, you know, a lot of people resonated with it, and a lot of people watched it and said, hey, I was feeling this way, and this gave me a lot of comfort. And from time to time, because there just isn't content like that on the internet, I'll go back and I'll watch my own existential crisis when I'm having one, and it will help me and remind me of who I am and what I'm doing, because I lose sight of that a lot. I second guess myself, I question myself, I trip myself, you know. I really do feel like I have this bag of rocks in my hand that I, you know, climb through life with and occasionally beat myself up with. It's just this constant struggle to get up and keep moving after I've tripped myself up, if that makes sense. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep using this mode and other modes to become more mentally sound, more mentally healthy. And I think it's really important for me moving forward in terms of my growth and in terms of the things that, you know, I'm capable of. What am I capable of? And I do think that I've gotten better at, you know, just going for things without thinking too much about them, and that's been a really important development for me. And I do think that I owe a lot of that to this to this, because it's helped me let go of the things that were holding me back, and essentially it was just me holding me back, or parts of me, and it's taught me ways of dealing with that, and which I never thought that I was going to be able to do. So I've gone through my list of the things that I wanted to achieve this year. I think I've done most of them, and I'm quite happy with the fact that I've achieved most of the things that I aspired to do this year. And I'm going to set another list of resolutions for 2020 that I will hope to achieve in the new year. You know, I don't know what Chinese zodiac year it's going to be. I just know it's not going to be the pig, so it's not important to me. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new year, and I'm really happy that I've actually achieved as much as I wanted to this year. The last and final thing that I will say about 2019 is that I have made so many friends this year. I've made way too many friends this year, and I'm not just talking about internet friends. I'm talking about real life, in-person connections that I'm overwhelmed. I've never been a person who has had more than 2 or 3 friends at one time. I've lost people along the way. I've, you know, gained new people along the way, but I've rarely had absolute maximum more than 10 friends. Rarely, because I'm such a strange person, and I'm very aware of the fact that I'm an extremely strange person. But you know, I've made so many new connections this year. Zara has been one, Halima has been one, Jimmy has been one, Ali Malik has been one, you know. Mariam Namazi, you know, danced with me in Bali. I'm guessing she's my friend. I'm not entirely sure. Arman Navabi just came into my life and left me in a month. But I feel like we had a friendship there while he was here, in the least. I want you to go and harass him to confirm that. Don't go and harass him. He's going to be very mad at me. But yeah, I've made all these new connections and all these new friends, and for the longest time, I was really, really scared of opening myself up to new people, because I've just gone through life. It's really difficult to accept new people into your life when the closest people to you have betrayed you. And I definitely have trust issues. I'm not saying I don't. I do. I'm still living with that. But it's just so nice to be able to have people, you know, that I can go to and be like, you're my friend, I can hang out with you. I'm gonna cry. You know, Carl, who I never thought in a million years I would be friends with, is one of my closest friends. He's in Berlin right now. I miss him so much. He told me he was in Berlin, and I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do all week? Even though I don't see him all the time. But yeah, I've made all these really deep connections, and I'm really, really grateful for them. You know, while I was in Amsterdam, you know, I was living with Halima. I was staying in her house. When I got high at Diwali, Sahel, Ahmed, Reason on Faith looked after me. Carl looked after me. Well, they didn't look after me. I just like checked in with them to make sure that I was okay. Like they didn't look, I did fine. I won that, by the way. Out of all of us who got high, I was the only one who stayed in the venue. I did not tap out. I did not go back to the hotel. I did not go back to, you know, where I was staying. I stayed in the venue and I had a riot. I had an amazing time. I won, and I think I deserve way more credit than I was given, because when I told everyone that I stayed in the venue, the response was very, very mediocre. I'm sorry, you guys, but I won that. Okay, we all did the thing and I won. I stayed in the venue and I, you know, came down off my high in the venue, so y'all can all bow down to me. Okay. I'm not gonna say who got high, but a lot of us, and not just any random people, like a lot of us, like our people, got high together. So yeah. Oh, I missed that tweet. Oh, Twitter suspensions. I think two of the saddest things that happened this year was my breakup and my grandfather passing away. And I'm still mad about the fact that my family would not let me go and see him, either while he was on his way out, so while he was dying, or, you know, afterwards at the funeral. I'm still really mad about that, but it was one of the sadder things that happened this year. And the second thing was me breaking up with Ed, which I still think was a good decision to make. We weren't compatible. It just wasn't gonna work out. At least I felt miserable. I can't speak for Ed, but it was the right decision to make. And single life has a lot of downs, but I'm enjoying it. It's not terrible. But yeah, that's my year in review. That was my 2019. I think that I did a lot. I think that I achieved a lot. I think that for the most part it has been my year, and in many ways, even though I didn't want to believe that, it's come true, and I'm really, really happy about how the year's turned out. You know, despite all the downs, despite all of the things that could have gone wrong, things went very right for me, and I'm hoping for more in the new year, and I'm excited to see what challenges and what what craziness comes in the new year. I'm really excited to see it, and I hope that you'll follow me into the new year. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found some enjoyment in it, some inspiration in it, and I don't know if I'll upload next week, because it is Christmas. Not that I'll be doing much. I might do one upload next week. I'm not entirely sure. And if I do an upload next week, I don't know what the upload topic will be, because this is my year-end review. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely post about it if I am gonna upload next week. I am taking a little break from Twitter. I'm checking in every now and then, but I'm not really active on it right now. So if you want to reach out to me, feel free to. I'm not responsive on any social media at the moment, but I will get to you in time. Most likely in the new year or next week. But yeah, thank you for being here. If you liked the video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing. If you didn't like the video, dislike and tell me why the fuck not. And if you would like to support me in a more monetary way, I have a Patreon, I have a PayPal, I have merch. All of the links are in the description below, and I hope you've had a good year. I genuinely do. And please tell me how your year went, and if you achieved everything that you set out to achieve. But yeah, with that, thank you, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, you know, Happy Winter Solstice, Happy Yuletide. I don't know. Just celebrate. It's a good thing to do.